Welcome back to the Logging Off podcast. It's wonderful to see you. Did you notice that I only just slightly changed the angle from from where I have my camera when I stream to where I have my camera when we do the podcast? It's literally like 3 inches forward and maybe 4 inches to the right. I don't know why I do it. Maybe I just want it to feel more like I don't want you to feel like you're looking down on me. It sounds weird. Like, I want it to be more like a face-to-face conversation, as, not to be parasocial, but, since we're talking, well, since I'm talking, we want us to feel more connected as you can through the internet. Just a heads up, there probably won't be a podcast episode next week. We'll see. It depends on how early I can record it, if possible, but we're going to be in the Philippines at the time that that you would normally be watching the podcast. So yeah, just a heads up. All right. I have something very specific I would like to talk about today. Media that moved me. I honestly don't have anything. I just wasn't consuming. I was listening to my book and watching some YouTube videos, but most I've been very output oriented this week. So I'll tell you what media is going to move me. The Bear season 4. The Bear season 3 is so criminally overhated. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me talk about The Bear for a second. Season 3. We go into this arc with Carmy trying to earn a Michelin star, right, for his restaurant. So I think a lot of people were expecting the season to end with them receiving the Michelin star. And because they didn't, people have interpreted that as nothing happened. And I just wonder, in what universe is failure nothing happening? Failure is one of the most character building things that can happen to a person. So that failure, along with all of the interwoven personal storylines intermixed into that, I wish people would give that more time to really marinate. Failure is hard, but failure is good. And I think it's set up for a it's realistic, a realistic season 4. This hero story, obviously Carmy would be our hero. It's a longer process, and the show is riddled with conflict and confusion and failure and regret. So expecting a point A, getting from point A to point B with no major setbacks, or victorious in the end, even despite setbacks, maybe that'll happen. But I think that's too linear storytelling for a show like this. And I think it was bold and brave of them to not give us that satisfying ending. With the Bear receiving the Michelin star. I know this has been hotly debated, but I believe in Carmen and Sydney. I do. I think there's just been so many beautiful, intimate moments between them that feel so real life, and maybe that's why some people are rejecting it. It's all good. It's all opinions, but I believe in Carmy and Sydney. I don't think there's no romantic connection between them. It's just too good. I want to rewatch season 3 now that I'm thinking about it, just to refresh my memory. But June 25th, The Bear. Okay. So I want to talk about resting. I'm trying to remember what something sparked this thought, but it was me and Joshua. We were talking about how in our culture, at least in American culture, it's a very grind driven, very hustle, no days off type of environment. And that has its benefits. It has its opportunities, I could say. So I really just kind of sat on that thought for the most of last week. We don't rest. And I started asking myself, do I rest? Do I really rest? And what does rest actually mean? I got a video on my For You page. I can't remember. I should have marked it. I'll put it in the description if I can find it. But he was essentially saying, like, in our culture, even self-care is something that we like perform. It's a checkbox that we do. It's like a badge of honor. It's something we make time for and we accomplish, right? Even our rest is systematized. It's a performance. And I have come to realize, like, I know. What really set me off was on Saturday, mind you, Saturday, the weekend. I had worked already, I want to say like 5 to 6 hours that day, editing, etc. And I was sitting on the couch at midnight. I guess this would have been Sunday, like 11 p.m. Saturday. And I was relaxing, watching something brain dead on TV. I was like, I still feel guilty that I'm not doing something productive right now. How is that possible that I can work on a day that is supposed to be the day where you don't have to do anything? This is not healthy. There's no way this is healthy that I feel like I haven't done enough. And I know at the time the kitchen was messy and there was some unfolded laundry, so that may have contributed to that. But when I really started reflecting on that, I was just like, man, my mental to-do list is always on. Like literally while I'm talking, I have my planner in front of me, and it's partially because I have podcast notes. But there is not a day that doesn't have a checkbox next to it. Something to accomplish, something to mark as like I did something that mattered today. I did something to feel okay about myself and my choices today. Even on Saturdays, even on Sundays. So I was like, okay, I know this isn't right. I know this isn't healthy. I know this isn't good for me. So tomorrow, as a start, I'm going to make a point. I will not make a to-do list. If, I feel so inclined to make the bed or do some dishes or do a little bit of work, then sure, I'll do it. But I'm not going to predetermine my schedule for Sunday. I'm just going to let it happen naturally. And I'm going to make a point to fight that thought. I must perform something. I must have something to show for myself for today. I'm going to actively reject that thought. It was hard. It was genuinely so hard. How many times I had to tell my brain to shut up when I would be doing something restful like reading or, sitting on the couch, scrolling TikTok, whatever. Something that may be perceived as lazy from the outside. Every time I did that, especially with the knowledge that there was things to be done, I really had to fight to keep even just like physically, keep my anxiety in check, keep my mental, feeling like I'm falling behind, to let go of those feelings over and over and over all day. And as I started to, it was probably late afternoon, I started to fall in more naturally into this restful state. I walked into my room and I noticed there's a pile of clothes. So I just started kind of folding the clothes. And I realized this is a pile of clothes that I've been ignoring all week. It's been there. Why? Why have I been ignoring it? If I'm so fixated on productivity and accomplishing and checking off my tasks, why is it only on my rest day that I'm finding myself doing it? Even though it probably took me less than 5 minutes. And I realized it's because the cleaning of my own room, my workspace, doesn't necessarily net business accomplishments. It doesn't qualify, it's not going to make money. It's not part of my quote unquote job. And I've been shoving this pile of clothes off of my chair just so I can get in my chair faster to work on something, or to at least feel like I'm doing something that's going to help my career, that's going to make to provide income for my family, to just like satiate that anxiety, that productivity obsession. And like later that day, I did the dishes, I did end up making the bed, and I felt no stress, I felt no anxiety while I was doing it. I was moving slower, I was moving more meticulously, and I was less rushed, which I kind of live in this constant state of doing things as quickly as possible, or getting things done, checking the box as quickly as possible. And upon further reflection, I think I just kind of, I it, how do I say this? It made me start questioning, why do I do what I do? Why do I make the decisions that I make of what to do with my time? And I've come to the conclusion, at least for now, that I choose the what to do with my time often based on some sort of fear or anxiety, either for how I feel about myself, for how I'm perceived, or for fear of, this like incoming pending economic collapse, and other components like YouTube ad percentage is fallen into the dirt over the last few years, just across the board. The gaming industry is down. Like, there's less people online, of course. So is this like fear of not being able to support myself and support my family? That is the way that I'm making a lot of my decisions. And there used to be a time, especially when content creation was like my side hustle, that I just created for the love of it and for the passion of it, and out of confidence and enjoyment. And I think I've noticed that element, I think, has been missing on the back end, not constantly, but it's almost like my default, that fear-driven work is my default state. I'm just realizing there's no way I'm putting out my best work if I'm making my decisions by fear. So that's one thing. And then there's this other component that I think might be even more important. What did I write here? Does my productivity obsession display a lack of trust? A lack of trust, that my husband is going to take care of me? That, and also belief that, like, ultimately my life is not out of my control. I can do my best to make wise decisions, but ultimately I am not in control of my future. Life is so unpredictable, and you can only really, you can try to prepare for what comes, but a lot of times we're surprised. Is my obsession, is my fear-driven decision-making and time spent actually causing me to produce good work? Am I doing what I'm doing, around the house? Am I doing it for the right reasons? And, the fact that I often find myself neglecting housework, I think it's because I see it as less important than getting in my chair and like doing the, rise and grind type of nonsense. And also, I spend a lot of time on my phone, time that I could be spending doing other things. And I know that sounds grindset-y, but the reason I spend, I think, too much time on my phone is because it's another way to satiate or to try to control that anxiety. So, and the fact that I'm working, but I have all of these impending tasks like folding laundry or doing dishes or, other stuff, other things that I value as important. it's created this cycle of feeling like I'm always doing so much and yet I'm never doing enough. And just to be clear, I feel like there are going to be some people who is just like ringing a bell. Joshua, housework is not all my job. I do all the cooking, at least for dinner and stuff. But Joshua has we share chores, so you don't need to be concerned about that. I don't want to make it sound like he's just like leaving me to do everything, because that's not what it is. This is just purely about my contribution. And let me also say, I neglect housework. Like, it's not just that I'm barely keeping up, it's that I actively choose not to do it, and I let things sit for too long. So I would say more than the average person. So that is something like a personal hurdle that I've dealt with kind of all my life. It didn't just start when I like moved out on my own. And I've realized, I think part of the reason that I do that is because I don't see it as important, but I feel it's important. When I'm living in my house, I feel the lack of cleanliness, right? When I do let tasks pile up. So I feel like there's this disparity between what I think and what I feel, and it puts me in this state of just like trying to keep up with myself, trying to keep up and feeling like I can't. So I've come to the conclusion that I need to truly rest. I need to rest as an act of trust. I need to rest because my body needs rest. My mind needs rest. You know, the fact that self-care, something that was in that video that I watched, self-care being something that's performed means that you are technically doing things that are supposed to be relaxing, but your mind is not interpreting it that way. Your body is still feeling like you're accomplishing something. So are you actually resting? Maybe not. Maybe not. So, after that, just one day of choosing to rest, I really felt like my vitality was returned. And I had good time for reflection, and I was able to do things that I want to do. I was able to do some gardening work, which, because it's something I like, I didn't feel, I didn't have those sensations of anxiety that I might normally have when I'm sitting at my desk trying to accomplish something. So that was, this is something I'm going to have to be working on for a while. Making time to rest, to truly let my to-do list sit and not open my freaking planner for a day. It's interesting. So, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one who experiences that, and it was good for me to realize, to try to start to see myself clearly, and to see where I'm actually making things harder for myself. And my house is in less order because of it, and obviously that affects my husband. It affects anyone who comes over. It affects me when people come over and I have to frantically clean, because suddenly that's like housework has finally risen up in my hierarchy of to-do list. So, and also I want to get back to creating out of love. Love for the subject matter, love for the craft, and love for the people who might watch it. I want to pour my heart into my work, but then when I'm done, be done with it, Let it fall off. Let it be something that's over. And it's not just this ever spinning cycle in my brain. Because I don't think we were supposed to live that way. Humans, there's a reason that we sleep. There's a reason that, we get mentally tired and we get bogged down, and we face like physical issues when we refuse to rest, when we live in a state of anxiety. We got to take it easy sometimes. TLDR, we gotta take it easy sometimes. We gotta take it easy. And it's not lazy to do that. It's not lazy to rest. That's a very like American grind set thing that I need to like unlearn. It is not lazy to rest. It's not lazy to rest when you have things that you could be doing, because you're always going to have things you could be doing. There's a comment on that, like that on the video, like, but I always feel like I always have so much to do. And the guy who made the video was like, yeah, you will have things to do until the day that you die. That is so true. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm grateful for the talk that I had with Joshua and how much thought that's prompted, because I think it will benefit me and everyone around me if I can just not live in this state of fear and, you know, if I can learn to let go and not stake so much of my worth in how much I'm producing or how successful the stuff that I'm producing is. So yeah, that's my what I'm learning segment. So for those of you who are going to the Philippines, let's talk with some logistics. I didn't actually know until recently. Well, I didn't know the details of it, but I will have a merch booth at the convention. I haven't figured out exactly what hours those will be open. I will work on that this week, and I'll post all that information in my Discord. We have a Discord channel that is just for Anne Friends attendees. So if you are going to Anne Friends, please join my Discord and go to that channel so you can get all the info and like ask any questions that you have. Yeah, I will have a merch booth. I'm not bringing very much. Yeah, I think I may be able to bring some like throwback t-shirts, or like I have to see just what kind of stock I have, but I'm not bringing a stock of t-shirts. I'm bringing posters, the same posters as last year signed, and I'm bringing stickers. I'm bringing some throwback stickers, and I'm bringing just like my dish icon stickers. I did want to do pins, but I honestly, I just ran out of time to get them done, just with the chaos of the last like 2 months. So I apologize for that. However, I'm bringing something fun, and this is kind of funny since there's like a rave style concerts every night. I'm making like beaded like candy bracelets that I want to trade, and they say Dishling on them. So if you are into making bracelets, or if you have a bracelet that you would like to trade with me, I'm going to try to make as many as possible. Realistically, I can probably make about 80. I may end up bringing the beads onto the plane, which goodness knows that will go end horribly, to make more, or maybe I'll just bring them to the Philippines to produce. But yeah, I'm going to try to make as many as possible. There is also a candy station, like a bracelet making station at the convention. So if you find out about that too late, you can do it that way. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun and cute to bring like something more personal, just something kind of like inside an inside experience. So I'm going to try to make as many sizes as possible. Sizes, colors, etc. That was kind of cutesy, kind of fun. And fun, surprisingly quite fitting for the concerts that will be happening at the convention. So I'm so pumped about coming back to Manila. I may also do an unofficial meet and greet at the Mall of Asia. I really want to go to the Mall of Asia because I want to go to Pop Mart. Because I have to see how close it is to To Anne Friends. Okay, Anne Friends Festival is at... Oh, wow, it's right next to the airport. It's a 12-minute drive. How long is it to walk? 50 minutes. Okay. I'll have to drive there. But yeah, I kind of want to do a Mall of Asia little meet and greet. I think it'd be kind of cute to do that. So again, join my Discord if you would like to have that information. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be as active at the convention as possible. I want to walk around. I want to see people. I want to hang out. So yeah, very, very excited. I had the last time I was in the Philippines, it was for a different festival that doesn't exist anymore. And hardships of that aside, I found that to be a very centering experience, and it was just, you guys are so cool. I feel very honored that to have such a big audience in the Philippines. So yeah, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna dance. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna wear to the concerts. I wonder if they're gonna be outside. But I want to wear something cute. I don't want to go like full rave. I don't think I can really pull that off, but I do want to wear something fun. Something fun, something SEA tropical friendly. Yeah, I need to go. I need to go hunt in my closet and look for some weird stuff. Okay. This is a shorter episode. I guess part of my lack of rest is that I don't have a lot pre-planned to discuss today. But yeah, I'll be around elsewhere. Daily Dish might be getting a bit of a vitality boost. I think I'm going to start just like posting whatever the heck on there. Just random stream highlights, because apparently that's the meta. Apparently like slop channels on YouTube that just post stream highlights and reactions and stuff that posted like 20 to 30 minutes after it happens on stream. Like that is the meta. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna see how it goes. Planning to finish Mistborn. Probably will finish it on the plane. It's been amazing. It's getting so exciting. Goodness gracious. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sorry, shorter episode. We will be, I think the next episode, assuming that me and Joshua, or assuming I don't post tomorrow, the next episode will be me and Joshua. So you can look forward to that. I won't have to talk so much. I can listen. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Wonderful weekend. If you're in the Philippines and you're going to Anne Friends, I will see you in Manila. Okay. Bye. Be well. Have a rest day. Have a true rest day this week if you can. Or even like a couple rest hours where you let go of your to-do list. We can do this. We can break this hyper productivity fixation, okay? Together.